Thank you so very much for joining us. This is still Enterprise Weekend, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation for this morning. The federal government has transferred Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, from the Department of State Services DSS detention facility in Abuja to a correctional center in Sokoto State. The development was disclosed by his former lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor. Kanu was relocated less than 24 hours after Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court sentenced him to life imprisonment on multiple terrorism charges, concluding a trial that spanned several years. The judge ruled that the prosecution had proven its case on several counts, confirming the transfer. In a post on X on Friday, Ejimakor expressed concerns that the move would further isolate Kanu from his legal team and family. Nnamdi Kanu has just been moved from DSS Abuja to the correctional facility in Abuja, far away from his lawyer. Of course, that's what Ejimakor said, and that was what he wrote. Now, let's get talking. I still have with me Tochukwu Isukama. Thank you so very much, Tochukwu, for being here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's get talking on this very sensitive matter that I would love to believe will last for as much as Kanu is still in Sokoto as we speak now. Tochukwu, what's your take on what started 10 years ago, and today we have a conclusion to that? What's your take?
Well, it's important there's been a conclusive and incisive end to the matter, because all along many people weren't talking about releasing Nnamdi Kanu, which I thought was absurd. Are you releasing him because normally if somebody is alleged of committing a crime, yes, then the person goes to trial, and then the judge decides his innocence or his guilt,
yes, and
consequently acquit him or convict him. That has been done in this matter, which is fine. Okay. But to just release him on what grounds? So it's good he was tried and then he was sentenced. Life imprisonment. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know if the punishment was too heavy, too weighty, or too, I don't know. But it's reached a conclusive end, and that's good.
All right, Tochukwu, let's talk about selective justice in Nigeria, because you said that his ethnic group, of course, were calling for release him, and you were wondering why they wanted to release him. In law, there's what called prima facie. That is when the forced evidence is used as a case.
False evidence.
Forced. Yes, the
okay.
Forced evidence on that reference is used to pass a judgment. And Nnamdi Kanu was given the opportunity of defending himself after he sacked his team. And of course, it raised lots of dust. Nigerians were excited to see someone who was not a lawyer defending himself. Of course, he came with very germane issues, brought witnesses that he wanted to cross-examine and so on. But at the tail end, he said he wasn't going to defend himself because there was no prima facie evidence to show that he should be in that place in the first instance. So what was your take on all of this really? Do you think that the charges against him were false? That he didn't do that, even if it was stated that he incited people, but no one found him physically involved in it?
Okay. Well, the thing is that he was the one that requested to defend himself.
Yes.
And when he was given the opportunity to defend himself, he was the one that also that says that this court has no right to try him.
Yes.
He kept shouting in the court, you don't know the law, show me the law. Yeah. Which was, he reduced the whole court to something of a circus, as though it's a place thing. He took the solemnity out of the court proceedings, became something for motor park thugs. He kept jumping up and down and shouting and insulting people. Don't push me, don't touch me, God punish you.
But don't you think he was within his rights? He was within his rights, because what he actually
was within his right to do what?
He was within his right to question the reason why he was there in the first place, because he looked at the law and said the reason why he was there it's not.
It's within his right to do anything he wants. It's also within the right of the judge to convict him. So people are acting within their rights. But he was within his right to act like an Aboro, was within his right to tell people God punish you, which he all did. Okay? Is it not within the right of the judge to convict him, which the judge did? So the thing is that allegations were made against him. If the lawyers had defended him, I think it would have helped his case. Okay. These are trained lawyers, they have the experience. I'm not a lawyer, and if I get into the court to defend myself, I can only bungle up my case. I will not help myself. And I think that's what he did. But whatever his motivations were, we must have known. Let us believe that he is not aging slowly towards insanity. Let's believe he was, because some of his behavior, you wonder, what is wrong with this man? Let us believe he was acting with his senses. Allegations made against Nnamdi Kanu, there are too many of them. Secession, the Nigerian constitution made it clear that secession is against the law. In the US, the bastion of liberty, the bastion of free speech, if you go there today and say, I want to secede, I want to make Texas a separate country, the law will be after you. If you go to China and say, I want to break up this country, the law will be after you, and so on and so forth. So in Nigeria, trying to dismember Nigeria is a crime, and that's what caused the first civil war. Okay. So by that alone, Nnamdi Kanu had a case to answer. But beyond that, you listen to his takes. He says things like, stone somebody to death. Nini Amodo, the chairman of Ohaneze, he told his supporters to stone him to death. Is that not illegal? It's not in line with the law. He says we have guns at a door. Pick up the guns, kill the soldiers, Nigerian soldiers. Take up their own guns and kill more soldiers. Is that not against the law? He says the lockdown is utter and complete because he's the one that started the lockdown. But at a point, it spiraled out of his hands. Couldn't control them anymore. Became something of a Frankenstein monster. The lockdown is utter and complete. If anybody comes out, burn that person up and burn him up in his store. They come out to open their stores to earn money to feed their children. And if anybody comes out, burn him up and burn him up in that his store. Is that not against the law? He says things like, I am a powerful man, and I know that. I have 2 million men that have sworn an oath of loyalty to me. I can play God. I have the power to determine who dies and who lives. In Nigeria, to have a private army is against the law. ESN is a private army. And according to him, 2 million men has sworn an oath to be loyal to him. Is that not against the law? And so on and so on and so forth. So Nnamdi Kanu
I don't see that as mere rhetorics.
Mere rhetorics?
Yes.
Even if you go threatening someone, the police can arrest you for that. If you tell a man, I'll kill you tonight, watch over your shoulder, I'm coming to shoot. Police will say it's a threat. Is that mere rhetoric or threat? Is subject to variegated interpretations. Interpret it your way. The prosecutors interpreted it their own way. The judge interpreted it their own way. So if your own interpretation is valid, what makes the interpretation of the judge and the prosecution wrong? So if it's about interpretation, we interpret our own way. But he had a case to answer. Killing policemen at checkpoints, yes. Attacking police station. There were snipers of him, giving his men direction during the sacks. Yes. Have you burnt the police station here, River? Don't tell me anything. How many police stations have you burnt? How many police stations how many policemen have you killed? Is that not against the law? So he went to court, was given the opportunity to defend himself, and he refused to defend himself. He said he will and refused. So the judge reached a verdict, and the verdict is life imprisonment. It's left for lawyers to review the case, interpret the case, appeal the case. I'm not a lawyer.
All right, Tochukwu, let's take a look at, because I talked about selective justice at this point. Do you think there are two laws in Nigeria, one for Nigerians and others for Igbos? because it's been insinuated that we've seen people commit more heinous crimes. Bello Turji, the popular terrorist, is all over the place, brandishing weapons, conducting peace deals, collecting ransom money, killing soldiers. A brigadier general was just killed. And most of these are tied to people that we know, that exist, that are even sympathized upon and de-radicalized. So do you think there's a separate law in Nigeria, one for the Igbos? Whenever they have this rhetoric threats and all that, people clamp down on them, but others will do more heinous crimes and rather pacified and gifted hard-earned money from taxpayers?
There are not two laws in Nigeria. The Nigerian judicial system is warped. Ordinarily, you can't criticize the court or judiciary, but I'll go ahead and criticize them because our judges have proven that there's nothing special about them. They are susceptible to the sirens of life, just like any other Nigerian. They are susceptible to money. They can be corrupted. They can be bought. So at this point, I shouldn't, but I would say that the justice system in Nigeria is warped, it's messed up. But there are no two laws in Nigeria, one for the Igbos. I am not into this Igbo sense of victimization or this persecution complex. As far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is not a perfect country, but within the limits of human weaknesses and third world circumstances, Nigeria is good for every Nigerian. Your argument, I've heard that many times, is a very, very poor argument. It's an argument that cannot fly anywhere. You arrest a pickpocket at Oshodi Market, and he says, you cannot arrest me. After all, there are armed robbers at Ojota. You've not arrested all of them. Why arrest me? The question is pickpocketing illegal? If it's legal, then you must be subject to arrest. So you have a case to answer, even if there are more serious criminals out there that are yet to be arrested.
And you think that is not ostracization? You ostracize someone else for pickpocketing and allow a kidnapper run free.
I am coming.
Yes.
Igboho got up and started behaving.
Yes, Nnamdi
Kanu.
Yes.
He got into trouble. His house was invaded.
Yoruba Nation thing. He equally said that he wanted the Yoruba Nation, which is equally successful.
I say he started acting like Nnamdi Kanu, yes, who wants an Igbo-dominated Biafra. He wanted his own Oduduwa.
Yes.
He got into trouble, did he?
He did.
He did get into trouble.
But he was let out.
I'm coming. The problem of Nnamdi Kanu compounded himself. So if the northern headsmen, yes, are acting a script by the Fulani political hierarchy, do you expect the Fulani political hierarchy to go against them?
Not at all.
Okay. If Igboho was acting because the Adolf Hitler had what he calls stormtroopers. So Adolf Hitler would talk politics, campaign, but he had his men on the street, stormtroopers, who would use muzzle to force through his designs. Mao Zedong had the Red Army. You talk politics and be presidential, but you have these young men that you have armed who can also enforce your laws. So Igboho may have been the stormtrooper, yes, of the Yoruba nation. Won't they protect him if he gets into trouble? But Nnamdi Kanu is a renegade. He's a lone ranger. He's a man that believes that he knows everything. Every other person is a fool. The Obi of Onitsha is an idiot. The Obi of Onitsha is a saboteur. The Obi of Onitsha is a sellout. Ezenry. These are people the Igbos respect. Older, matured men, old enough to be his father. You talk to them anyhow. You disparage Igbo governors, disrespect them. So Nnamdi Kanu had nobody to back him up, to protect him. So if he ever gets into trouble like he did, he was on his own. A problem he caused for himself. So you go to the north, we don't know what the bandits have, this sense of entitlement. They talk with audacity, they talk with impunity as though they own Nigeria, because they have a hold on the powers that be. Who recruited them? What are they here to do? So everybody has fallback concept Nnamdi Kanu had known.
So because Nnamdi Kanu had known, that is enough reason.
I'm not saying it's right.
Ostracize him.
I'm not
while
saying
those who commit more heinous crimes but have backbones should be allowed to run loose.
I'm not saying it's right.
Yes.
But when a man shoots himself in the leg and get into a race, you know you're going nowhere. Okay? Because you have destroyed your own chances. Even the Igbo elite wanted Nnamdi Kanu to remain there.
Really?
The Igbo elite,
allegedly.
The Igbo elite connived with the federal government in the Python dance. He became a handful to his own people. The Biafran movement, like I once said, I once wrote an article that I entitled "The Nihilism in Biafranism." The Biafrans come and destroy what is there already. Ojukwu did the same thing. Shoved the Igbo elite to the side. What of your father? What of Aziki? What of all that they've built in the past? You shoved them to the side, discredited them, called them saboteurs, intimidated them, and went out on his own, and he failed. So what of if Nnamdi Kanu had built on what the Igbos have achieved in the last 50 years, since 1970, when we started from scratch, and built it up to this level? It wasn't a perfect endeavor, but you cannot outrightly reject all of them, discredit all of them, and call everybody a saboteur, a slave of the House of Fulani. That's what he did. So when others have reasons to protect their own, the Igbos have no reason to protect Nnamdi Kanu, because he became a handful. There's a lot of injustice or injustices in Nigeria. But if you secure your own base, it makes it easier as you wade through this unjust land mine that is Nigeria. He didn't secure his own base.
All right, Tochukwu said Nnamdi Kanu did not secure his own base. Well, that is debatable at some point. But let's take a look at what we have from our comment sessions. We have a litany of people who have commented here. We have one, Okolie, who said that I don't believe in Nigeria anymore. I do not know. Do you think he has the right to say he does not believe?
You can say anything you want.
All right. So we have the same Okolie said they should come and divide Nigeria. Let everybody stay on their own. Do you think he has the right?
Has the right to do that.
All right, beautiful. We equally have other matters. Some comments here. This is from Diala Tochukwu. Please release Nnamdi Kanu. And divide Nigeria for what exactly? Of course, someone was responding to what Okolie had said. Stop blaming President Tinubu. You are rude. No respect. I guess he was referring to me. I'd love to believe. At no point.
He can refer to me. Doesn't bother me. Okay. That's his opinion.
All right. So we have other matters here. And we have one, Michael Abiondu, who equally said that Kanu is too arrogant, talking to a judge like that. Shame on you guys for supporting him because he is Igbo. I love to believe he's saying that that Nnamdi Kanu was arrogant and he should not have said that to the judge and all. But Tochukwu, let's take a look at the Igbo-ness in the life of the Igbo man. We are driven by culture. We are driven by who we are. And as an Igbo man, it's absurd for you to wake up in the morning and behave like a Hausa, Fulani, or Yoruba man. You are Igbo first before you are a Nigerian. So the culture is what made you who you are. Now let's take a look at the repulsive nature of Nnamdi Kanu and the explosive nature that he exhibited. Do you think that is the Igbo-ness in the Igbo man? Because the Igbo man, like you would agree with me, is someone who knows his rights, wouldn't want to be trampled upon. If he finds himself in a place of work, would not because he is a cleaner, the Oga at the top will now love to ridicule him. He would always speak out for the truth. So do you think that explosive nature of Nnamdi Kanu is the Igbo-ness in him coming to the open?
The explosive nature of Nnamdi Kanu is vulgarity, is crudity, is rudeness. But let me keep it there. Yeah. I'm coming. I once wrote about what I called, I wrote, and I quote, one Nigeria is not a homogenizing vat where different cultures blend into one. we have a country called Nigeria, but we have different cultures that cannot blend into one. So the Igbo culture remains Igbo culture. And I am an Igbo man forced to the core. I have to be an Igbo man forced to the core before I can be a true Nigerian. If I can't be an Igbo man, I cannot be a Nigerian. So the precondition, and I am a one Nigerian man, but the precondition is that you must be Igbo first.
Yes.
So I respect the Igbo culture. I adore the Igbo culture. As old as I am, I'm still ready to lay down my life for the Igbo nation.
Okay.
That is why all those that have led the Igbos into trouble and abandoned them and ran away, I have something against them. And when I pick my pen, I don't spare them. I don't spare Ojukwu. I don't spare Nnamdi Kanu. You should lay down your life for your people, especially when you have led them and taking decisions and giving orders that cost other people's life. Okay. All right. But the Igbo man is not perfect, just like no ethnic group is perfect. So the Igbo man has his own problems, the problems that got compounded since after the Civil War. So the Igbo man is this, the Igbo man is this, the Igbo man is this. We have to sometimes examine ourselves. The object of war is victory. So if you fight this war and fight it well, you'll be victorious. Has our, what did you call it, pride,
self-esteem,
whatever you
call
I
would love to call it
self-esteem. Has it done us good? It keeps pushing us down and down and down and down.
Politically, so, because we have to distill it here.
It's all about politics. You are courageous. You have high esteem. You are innovative.
Intelligent.
You are intelligent. You are hardworking. But you say you are marginalized.
Politically.
Yeah, it boils down to politics. Politics determines everything. Because Tinubu is the president. Okay? And that's the most important, the most powerful position in Nigeria. So politics a governor determines the fate of the whole state. So you can be at one corner knocking your head against the wall, talking about your pride and your innovation, your intelligence. That gets you nowhere. So it should end in politics. So we have made a lot of mistakes. And instead of us acknowledging these mistakes, we keep talking about we are proud, we are this. I was listening at Igbo landing. Yes. What do they call it? Igbo landing, somewhere where Igbo slaves committed suicide.
Yeah, the first,
there's an Igbo saying,
yes.
If I put a beer,
okay,
meaning that there are no absolutes in life. Courage is good, but it's the coward that survived. So where do you strike the courage? The delicate balance between courage and cowardice is very important. There are no absolutes. Okay, you strike the delicate balance. That's how you live your life. So the Igbos need to stop this extremism. Instead of being a slave, let me die. Martin Luther King Jr. was the son or grandson or great-grandson of a slave. King Popo of Ajaja was a slave. So many slaves later became very successful, contributed so much to the society. So when you say, I would rather die than be a slave, it's absurd, it's reckless, it's extreme, and I don't buy that kind of behavior. But the Igbos like strife, the Igbos like struggle. Even if you struggle and lose what you had before the struggle, we think it's still fine.
So you mean you are not good with the famous African proverb that says it's better you be a lion in the jungle than a dog in the city?
Be a lion in the jungle.
Be a lion in the jungle.
What does that mean in this context? Lions live in the jungle. Dogs live in the city.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the relationship?
Yeah, the relationship is that being a lion in the jungle means that you are in control of your future. You are in control of your destiny. No one can come and tell you what you are not. But being a dog in the city means you are just a pet dog who is there.
But a lion is created a lion, a dog is created a dog. So I don't see the relationship between the two. A man is created to be free. But when your freedom is jeopardized, you end your life or strike a balance, manage it, and see what comes out of it. So I don't believe in that Igbo landing. Igbos are proud. Igbos are this. Therefore, they committed suicide. It was recklessness. It was suicidal lunacy. We have to learn. So Nnamdi Kanu's arrogance, his vulgarity, his crudity, they were wrong. You believe he was generated by the most powerful person was Queen Elizabeth, one of them. But she never shouted. She never screamed. Goodluck Jonathan was such a quiet man. He was at Aso Rock and ran Nigeria. The Abuja scream, fight. But they are the bottom. They are the downtrodden. They are the lowest economic level. So it's not about shouting and jumping up that makes you a proud man or evinces your pride, your self-confidence and courage. No. There are too many ways to be civil. There are too many ways to behave yourself, get the job done. Nnamdi Kanu is a thug. And that shows you how far the Igbos had fallen. I read the writings and the speeches of Nnamdi Azikiwe, and I am awed by their consanity and articism. Look at this man, look at brains, look at knowledge. That was our leader then.
Okay.
But today I am flabbergasted by Nnamdi Kanu's crudity and vulgarity, and that's our leader today. How could we have fallen from that height to this level where a thug, an arboro, an inexhaustible liar is our leader, falling from the level of Zeke? Zeke was one of the greatest Nigerian that ever lived, and one of the greatest Africans that lived. That was our leader. But now we have a thug, a goon that is leading us. How did we fall from that point to this point? You fall in imperceptible gradations. You keep falling without you knowing it. Oh, it's pride. Oh, it shows we are tough. No, you are destroying yourself. We have to learn civility. We have to act enlightened. We have to learn to be polite. We have to learn some tact. We have to learn to build bridges with other Nigerians. We have to learn to make friends. Moshood Abiola ran a Muslim ticket. People didn't even know. No. They voted for him. Why? He has gone across Nigeria building bridges, making friends. Not I know no, tact. The Yoruba man has gotten everything he wanted. He has a stranglehold on the economy. He has dominated politics too in the last how many years? You two Yorubas have been president without firing a shot. Tact, reasoning, wisdom. The Igbo man fight and fight and fight and fight and lose and lose and lose and lose. And then we are clinging to the same attributes that is making us lose. And we say we are proud, we are courage. Nah, beg. The Igbo man has a lot to learn from the Hausa man and from the Yoruba man.
Well, the Igbo man has so much to learn, according to Tochukwu, from the Hausa man and Yoruba man.
Yes.
Well, lots of people might not agree with that, and stating that that is more like making him morph into what he is not, and it's very debatable actually.
But what are you?
Because everyone is individualistic. You can't
tell
be
someone individualistic and be tactful. You can be individualistic and be civil. You can be individualistic and be considerate. What says that individualism is lawlessness? What says that individualism is vulgarity? Americans are individualistic, but the American society is very civil, it's very polite, very accommodating. So what's it? You go to, I have, my observation shows me that I used to park my car when I drive to this market near Olo.
Okay. The computer village, you mean?
Yeah, just before computer village.
Okay.
Ibodo.
Okay.
I'll park my car on the street. Those early days, it was way, way back. This young man will say, "Okay, give us some." I give them 200 naira. Now it might be up to 1,000. Okay. On this particular, I was in a very bad mood. So as I parked my car, one man came. I told him off. Give you what? Do you own this street? Does this street belong to your father? Leave me alone. The young man backed off because of my age. No insult me. You be elderly man or no call my father. He walked out. Tried out in Onitsha. A 25-year-old man, a 35-year-old can slap you. And we call that courage. We call that individuality. It's criminality. It's lawlessness. I was at Enugu not too long ago. I came out of a bus. I wanted to go to Onitsha. I entered a bus for Onitsha. But it wasn't loading faster, no. Okay. I stepped out. The driver of the bus followed me. You're a very wicked man. Why did you step out of my bus? You are wicked. You will pay me for the ride I've given you, a ride of about 200 yards. Okay. How much will I pay you? I say 500. I'll pay you 500. I don't care who you are. I'll carry you now and smash your head against the wall. Okay, I'm ready to pay you 500 now. What will be your wahala? The man will be in his 30s. I'm in my 60s. A Yoruba man can never do it because they respect age. They have respect for tradition. So we have all this jaga way through our lives. And instead of looking into them and addressing them, we keep excusing them away. It's individuality. It is courage. It is this. It is that. Where have these things taken you to? It has taken you to nowhere. Since after the Civil War, when Ojukwu damaged the Igbo land with his arrogance, disrespect for the elderly, disrespect for established authority.
So what you're saying, Tochukwu, is that before, according to you, Ojukwu damaged the system, were we more respectful before then?
Of course, we had a structure established by the older Igbos, the Azikiwes, Ojukwu's father, Timber and Caliber, SIOB. There was a structure. These men understood the Igbos, know their strengths, their weaknesses, and tried to work with the Igbos to make them a great people in Nigeria. So when Ojukwu came, because Ojukwu had his own emotional and psychological baggages, he destroyed all these things to elevate himself, to build his own structure. So what was built, he destroyed, but couldn't build his own because he lost the war and ran away. So what you had was a no man's land. Anything goes. A 35-year-old semi-criminal can come into a gathering and shut up a 75-year-old retired professor with popular applause in Igbo land. Why? Because the 35-year-old man has money. The retired professor has no money. In Yoruba land, no matter how rich you are, you see your elders, you lay down to salute them, to respect them. So we have so much we need to learn.
All right. Toshiko, I just sincerely hope that you are not in simpatico with those that have allowed the propaganda go round that Igbos are the problem in Nigeria.
I have never said that.
Okay.
Igbos, every ethnic group of Nigeria has contributed to the problems of Nigeria. Okay. Yeah, the Igbos have contributed, Hausas, Yorubas, but no one particular ethnic group is the problem of Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We wish Nigeria well, and of course, this is more like an intellectual expose, and it is not, cast in stone. It's very debatable. You have what you think about it. Others equally have what they think about it. Everything we say here is not cast in stone. Just to let us know. It's very so important that when they say unity in diversity, there's a strength in it actually. And Tochukwu, I have loved to believe over the years that the reason why we have actually not, gone our separate ways is because of the unity, the diversity that we have. So no one tribe can say he wants to lord it over everyone. So because of that desire for everyone to be themselves, equally connect to other people, has a way of bringing us together. It's just like in science, there's what called the centrifugal force, right? Things that are not of the same make are forced to be together because of a force that holds them together. So Nigeria is more like a centrifugal force holding us together. And the desire is, we just hope that that force, that the national grid will not collapse. And of course, take away electricity that holds that centrifugal force. Of course, I'm being metaphorical at this point. Yes. So that's the desire that we hope for in Nigeria, and believe that things will get better. Thank you so very much, Tochukwu.
You're welcome.
It's always interesting having you. I feel like having you every day.
I'm available, but when I go begin money talk.
You're behaving more like the Igbo man now.
I'm an Igbo man. I'm Igbo.
All right, people, that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you so very much for your time. We'd love to believe you enjoyed our show just like we did right here on Enterprise Television. But please do well to follow us. You can find us, reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally rewatch some of the things we had going on when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye from us.